one of the things that I like us to do, if we can, is to make a motion to change the agenda slightly. We've been asked by Al Jukunski if we'd be kind enough to move him up to number 4, I guess, from number 3 to from number 4. If we can just swap the 2 around. I don't think anyone has a problem with that. I don't. Does anybody have a problem moving that around?
Why don't we get Al first?
Yeah, we'll get Al first, right after our
Yes.
right after our minutes, and then he'll be our
Yeah,
first.
he will be first. He will be first.
He will be first. Okay, moving on. Have a minutes from the November 2nd. Do we have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? So carried. Good. Okay, the second item on our agenda is our Board of Selectmen. Jackie, where are you? There you are. You moved. Jackie, anything going on with the Board of Selectmen that we should know about?
Mr. Chairman, the Board of Selectmen, Board of Education, and Board of Finance met on November 30th to start our budget process. And we're slated to meet again in January for anybody that wants to follow that process.
Okay, good.
Thanks.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We appreciate it. By the way, is Janice with us? Our secretary?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure that phone was you. I was trying to make sure.
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, moving on then is our next thing is we'll move up to the high school roofing project. Al, you're on.
Thank you. We're out to bid. Legal notice was in the Hartford Courant in the Friday, November 20th edition. We had a pre-bid last Wednesday, December 7th. 7 contractors showed up to the pre-bid. All the big boys were there: Greenwood, Silktown, Barrett, Young Developers. There was a contractor out of Massachusetts. I'm not familiar with them, but they also attended. So a good turnout. So far, I have not received any questions that would require an addenda. There was a couple of emails that came in, but they're all items that were already in the specifications. We're receiving bids this coming Tuesday, December 15th, at Town Hall. I will be there to help out in opening the bids. And again, everything so far so good. I can tell you that even though our budget starts with the 2 being 2 million, I am pretty confident that that number is going to start with, knowing how competitive it is out there.
I'm on a Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Casey, that's it.
What?
Your next meeting, we'll have bid results for you. We'll review them after.
Okay. I tell you what, I think this is going to be around about 9 o'clock.
Hold on, somebody's talking over somebody. We can't hear
I'll
you.
get it there.
Okay, fine.
Do it again. Somebody had questions of Al? What happened? We lost our sound?
No,
No.
We can hear you.
Okay. Anything else, Al?
no, that's it. Again, good turnout. All the big boys were there. We're looking forward to opening up bids on the 15th. I'm pretty confident we're going to get very, very good numbers.
Good. Okay. I want to thank you for getting that done. And if you, I'm sure that Jeff will know what's going on. Jeff can email us to let us know what's going on that day. It'd be great. I don't think anybody else have any questions.
No.
No other questions? Okay. Moving on, then we'll move on. And I know you have an invoice, but that comes under invoice payments, so we'll take care of
Yeah, I'm going to leave the, I'm sure you guys are going to approve it.
it. Yep. Okay. Anything else, Al?
No, that's it. See you on the
Okay.
next meeting. Over and out.
And
you.
we're not going to
Thank
see you
you,
for the holidays.
Al.
We'll have a Merry
Happy
Christmas.
holidays.
Yeah, same to you guys. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. If you believe in Santa.
Thank you. We'll do
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Take care, guys.
Have a good one.
Moving on to Henry James. All right, Architects Monthly Report. Jennifer?
Okay, there's, well, I'm getting to the right page here.
I don't know, you got a lot of pages here. It's
I
confusing.
do. So we will go over some of the change order proposals. Most were allowance items. There's a couple that are still being reviewed, but we will go over that during.
We'll go over that when we go
Dennis's
through with
report.
Downs.
We've been on site to back check some punch list items. there's still some items remaining outstanding. Downs can report on some of the specifics there. But things are getting finished up, and we're just trying to close out some of that. Furniture activities, that is almost complete. There's no new invoices to walk through tonight. The next invoices you will see will be after the last installations. There's very little left, and there are some punch list items that are still being resolved that should be handled over Christmas or the holiday break at school. And once those are taken care of, then we can finalize paying the rest of the invoices. But we're still holding on to those. There's no new invoices for that. So we're getting to the end with the project, and things are going pretty well.
And how you doing with the furniture, the stuff that you've been ordering? Is that pretty much resolved and solved and coming in?
Yep, there's very few pieces left now that are on the furniture punch list, and very few pieces left to install. So there's a few things for the media center that are left, and a few bookcases, and some science tabletops that are going to be replaced because of damage that had been noted. So those are going to be done over the holiday.
You had reported a while back there was some brick and problems on the outside. Has that been corrected?
There are still a few open punch list items for the exterior.
Or can you tell us what
I'm
your
not
punch list
sure.
items are, since there's that many
Um,
for our record?
So in our field report, there is still sealant missing at one location. There's brick that needs to be cleaned in another location. And some, I think there are some, at the same area where there's brick that needs to be cleaned, there are some saw cuts, so that there needs to be
Right,
some mortar still.
masonry work.
Yeah, but very, very little. You know, it's one little spot that's like, one foot by
Okay.
1 foot. A majority of
How about the markings in the walls and the lockers?
so those just haven't been removed yet, but I think Downs is gearing up to when they can be in the school, getting those last punch list items done. So there's, those marks on the walls are really not a big deal. They can be taken
Okay.
care of. The lockers, there's a lot of punch list items related to the lockers, just latches
Right.
that are tough to operate, and some fasteners that need to be secured. They're not huge items, but there are numerous items of the lockers, I must say.
Okay,
And let's see. They are very, very little things all in all. There's still some work outstanding because of some COP work when things were approved and waiting for doors to come in. We still have a few doors. We have temporary doors in the back swing in just a few locations, and we were waiting for the final doors to come in, and that work to be done. So that's outstanding. I believe that's scheduled to happen soon.
we'll get into that when we get into the report from
Right.
Downs.
I provided an updated log as well with the COPs that we're discussing tonight. Those are in there. Just for your records. I don't know. That's about it. I don't
Okay.
really have concerns. Things are finishing up.
Any questions of the architect? Hearing none, let's move on. Collier monthly report.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman
Oh, say it
and
to
members.
everybody. I'm not the only one here.
Yeah, and all the members. As Jennifer reported, there is a lot of movement. It's small stuff. Things to note is that there are no change orders that have been presented, so the contract value hasn't changed. And as Jennifer was noting, the risk items are very limited now. It's now down to delivery and installation of a few appliances in the fax wing. And then, as Jennifer noted, a few very minor items related to the furniture, fixture, and equipment. And then we have an item that we'll talk about later, which is related to the acoustical issues that I think everybody that was present last month will remember was brought up. So we have something on that coming up a little later when Downs presents some PCOs or
Okay.
potential changes.
I have a couple of questions. On your report,
Sure.
you have under section 1.2, you're saying that the change orders number 14 and 15 were not complete until after substantial completion, which may result
Correct.
in additional costs. Why is that?
Yep. Well, what it is those were some of the items that were pending and were not approved. And as Jennifer noted, and Steve, I'm sure can get into in more detail, there were items in those change orders that were not improved.
14, 15
So-
go way back, so that kind of
Yep,
bring us up
They,
to date.
they
with
did, but they still were approved after the process of construction was completing in that area. So
Okay,
the limitations are there, and they are just the 3 items that I noted. And if you remember, the appliances now have been taken out of Downs' hands. So there's very limited exposure.
okay. Then under number 3, I think it's just a typo, but you say down the bottom, the refrigerators, the freezer, and lockers will be completed by December 7th, 2002. That's a long time ago. I just want to make sure you make that correction, that's all.
Okay, I'll have to find that. I don't see that on mine.
It's on page
Okay.
1 of 3. It's item 1, construction costs and
Got
schedule
it.
number 3,
Okay, I got it. Yep,
December 7th, 2002.
yep, that was a typo.
So I do read your report, so I just want to let you know.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Okay,
I'll make sure I change that.
no problem. Well, it's in the record. I just want to make sure the record, so the record gets
Yeah.
straight. Okay, any other
Absolutely.
comments? Any
No.
questions of Don? Hearing none? We can move on.
Thank you.
Okay, construction manager report, the Downs report.
Hello, everybody.
Letter first, Jeff, you want to hit the letter first? That you got today? Can't hear you, Jeff. Your mic is off.
Yeah, Dick, we could speak to the letter.
Yes,
we,
read the letter first.
we received a letter today from Downs. We were copied on a letter sent back to MJ Daly, who was the contractor who had claims on COVID delays. And essentially the letter states that Downs has rejected the claim from MJ Daly. So with that, I think I would recommend that no action be taken by the committee, since there is no claim or any change orders that are really active relative to COVID.
In reference what Jeff is saying, just very quickly, if you remember, we were going to take action with the town attorney. He made some comments to us and wrote letters. We were going to go to executive session, discuss the letter, and make some motions. At this point, I think it's covered what we were going to do, so there's no need to do that. And that's why we asked for a letter to confirm it, and it did. And Steve, I thank you if you were jumping in on this for us. I appreciate it very, very much.
Yep,
So
no problem.
Now move on into your report.
Sure. So you obviously got the report in the packet today. So the front page there is the usual financial summary. If you have any questions, let me know. I will point out on the pending change orders, the 3rd line or 4th line from the top, you see that negative 119,000. So if you've looked at the COPs, there's some credits in there. And for next month, we should be able to wrap up all the allowance credits as well. So you'll see all the allowance dollars coming back. I just started this month with a couple of them. So, but now with the work winding down and so forth, we can reconcile that and get the rest of those COPs in to give back all the allowance dollars and then the contingency and so forth. So you see those figures down below, what's remaining for allowances, the GMP allowance as well, and then the contingency, the 418. So there's quite a bit of paperwork to do, and we'll get that done for the next meeting to get those funds back.
The next meeting's tomorrow, right?
Excuse me?
Tomorrow.
I'm sorry, Dick.
Never mind.
Tomorrow? Yeah, I'll stay up all
Just see
night.
if
no
you're
problem.
awake.
If we're gonna meet tomorrow night, I'll get them done tomorrow.
Okay. No, I'm just teasing you.
Yeah, no problem. So if there's no questions there, I'll move on. The schedule update.
Hold on a second. Any questions in reference to this report, financial report summary? Okay, move on. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, so we're completed, we're substantially complete with everything. The work in progress, as Jennifer noted, we're taking care of some punch list items. What our current plan is, trying to schedule a bunch of contractors out there over Christmas break for a couple days to knock out the remaining punch list items, as well as some COP work. She mentioned the doors, the actual doors and hardware in. We're just waiting for the cores to come in to the town. They were shipped directly to the town so they can get the keying done. So when we swap those doors, Scott can lock them that day and there's no exposure to the contents of the classroom. So we'll bang all that out over Christmas break on a couple days, and then we'll ask the architect and Colliers and Andy and so forth to come back in and do a final walkthrough. Hopefully everything will be okay.
Andy, any questions there, Andrew?
No. I know there's been questions about the cores. We've not received them.
Right. Okay.
Delivery has just been impacted, I think, by COVID. So
Yeah.
we don't normal schedule.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it shouldn't, hopefully it won't be too much longer. So the exhaust fan work. So we did do the rebalancing, if you will, of the final A and B areas, and received the balancing report. So if Garrett doesn't have that in already, it'll be in very shortly for a final sign off there. We'll see if there's any questions with that, but those are all operational now. And then we back in the dust collector, we do have one replacement switch in the control panel. That was bad. It's in. We're coordinating with the shop teacher. I think we'll be there Monday, the technician, to swap that out. So it's been in operation and so forth, but there's one switch in there that needs to be replaced. So that'll take place no later than Monday, and that'll be all wrapped up. Moving
Any
on.
questions at this point? I'm sorry. Any questions to Steve at this point? Okay, Steve, go ahead. Keep
All
going.
right, moving on to COPs for the project.
Right.
First one, 279, that's an allowance draw for electrical work associated, if you remember, the COP to add a bunch of visual display boards in the classrooms. There were some relocations for electrical devices and removal to install boards and then put those back. So that's a zero cost to the GMP. 283, a similar allowance for the electrician. This was for revised phasing for some shop equipment. Once it came in and got that hooked up, needed a different breaker than originally planned for. So that's a draw to his allowance as well for $612. 294, you've seen before, that's for the locker room revisions due to existing conditions, all the outlets and different devices that were behind the old lockers in the locker room. That was a not to exceed, you see the number there, 3883 previously, and the final number on that is the 2401.64. So
yeah, it's not, the final scope is 245063. Is that right?
I don't have it in front of me, Dick. Is that a
Well, you have
typo I have there?
240164 is amount, but then you have Downs is added 1777 and 3122.
Yes, you're right.
Total of 245063.
Okay. Thank you for that correction.
Okay. All right, I need a motion for that one.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
John, your phone, your mic is off, John. Can't hear you, John. Okay, got a second? All in favor, saying aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, move on. 302.
COP number 302, that's an allowance with the drywall contractor for an expansion and wall cover joint for an existing joint in the school at one location of the lobby at the gym area. So that's a zero cost impact to the GMP. 307 is for the acoustical panels in the classrooms we talked about at the last meeting. So we received the PR. We did get it priced from 2 subcontractors. When this was published, we only had one of the prices. It is the cheaper price, or the less expensive price, if you will. So if we want to move ahead with this work, this would be the cost of $21,414.92, as the other price was more expensive. So there's
Wait a
There's
minute.
no-
What are you saying the number is?
the 29,414.92.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, 29. Yep.
Yeah.
It's not to exceed that.
Well, we were expecting another number, which I did receive since this was published, Dick, but it's more expensive, so there's no opportunity to save. So this is the final number.
This is the final. Okay.
Yep.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved.
Second. Okay. Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Aye.
So that one moves on. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll get those ordered. COP 309, it's an allowance draw from the ceiling contractor. We installed some brake metal covers at the media center at the operable partition to cover up the track and make it more presentable for the area. So that's another no cost or no increase to the GMP, part of an allowance.
Okay.
310, COP 310, that's the demolition and abatement subcontractors allowance package reconciliation for a credit of $40,662.21.
How did we get that?
So this is based on, if you look at the COP, there's a log in the back. So all previous, just like these other COPs above that we're seeing for allowance draws, you have approved previously every allowance draw for this subcontractor, and this is his balance that we did not spend on the project. So it's a credit back to the owner.
The credit back to us. Okay. So no, it doesn't need a vote then. Thank you. Good. We'll take it.
The same for 312. So this is for the structural steel bid package. He had some allowance dollars in his bid package. And this is what's left over, so a credit back to the owner.
19,000 there. Good, very
Yep.
good. Okay.
And then 313, the last one, the millwork provider for the project provided some shelving and some of the millwork with a 1 millimeter band on it. It's the edge banding, which protects the edge of the wood shelf.
Oh.
And it called to be 3 millimeter. He ran out of 3, installed 4. Jennifer has looked at it and has agreed it has no impact on the life of the shelf or anything, but it's not what was called for. So there's a credit of $2,500 coming back to receive to take the 1 millimeter banding.
Okay.
And that's the last of the COPs.
Okay. Okay, you want to just explain those 2 numbers you have down the bottom, total COP and scope?
Yeah, so of those several, we just went through and reviewed the in scope. That's the number 3,432.49. Out of scope, there's all those credits, 30,431.
Good.
So it's
Okay.
just the sum of tonight's discussions.
Good. Okay.
And then we have
Second, you have
go ahead.
just a second, Steve. So these are credits, $30,000.
Correct.
How did you get there? You have a 40,000, you have a 19,000, and you have a 2,500.
That's a good question, Lucian.
I think it's the out of scope wall panels. I assume you're
Yeah,
looking at,
Yeah, there's an
Yeah.
ad in there.
It's the total out of scope COPs. So then you have the $29,000 ad. So when you add all the
Okay.
out of scope COPs, that's the
Okay, so you
total.
take that one out, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. We had two others that were kicking around. I don't know, 258 and 292. Do you have any? They were on your package on your office.
Yes, Jeff asked those just to be reinserted. Those are the MJ Daily COVID claim ones,
Yep.
just in case there would be discussion tonight to
Okay.
have them there fresh.
So I'll make sure that's what wanted for the record. That's what that shows.
Yeah, so if they, one thing to remember, so we've rejected it. They will respond. Hopefully they respond the way we want them to.
Okay.
If they want to go further, there's measures in the contract to go to arbitration and so forth. So,
Yep.
If it gets that far, there is an exposure. If someone were to decide, yes, these are legitimate charges, that should be paid, but we just don't believe that.
Okay. All right. Any other items for his discussion?
No, we've got our rec, which we'll get to with.
Yeah, we'll get to that when we get in a minute.
Yeah.
Talk about the
That's really
project
it.
first. Any other items? Any questions from anybody? Andy, what's going on? Tell about your side of the fence.
No, my side's fine. I appreciate the work Steve's doing.
Good. Okay. Jennifer, any questions? Steve? For our
No.
record? No?
No.
Okay, moving on then. Our agenda goes to the items now. We start going with our invoices. First invoice, of course, is Downs application number 20, the amount of $7,039.81. Can I have a motion to approve?
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
Second, okay, any discussion, comments? All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay, the next invoice is Castle Booze, invoice number 16018.04-26, for the amount of $2,000. I hear a motion.
So moved.
So second,
Second.
discussion. Any discussion? Now, this brings us pretty much close to date, Jennifer, does it not?
I have to get to that, to our invoice. It should say how much is left in our contract at this point. It wasn't on that page.
It's not on that page, that's why I asked.
Let's see.
22,000, I think.
You're at 85%, Jennifer,
Okay,
Okay,
on your closeout.
okay, thank you.
good, okay. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Next item is Van Zelm invoice. Van Zelm invoice number 0047799, the amount of $630. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
So second?
Second.
Second. Any questions? Comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay, then the last one I have is the Van Zelm. I'm sorry, Jakuski. Jakuski invoice number 20326 in the amount of $13,275. Do I have a motion?
So
So
moved.
moved. Or
Um,
second.
Second?
What was the amount, Dick?
I'm sorry?
What did you say the amount was?
I show the balance due, oh, sorry, the balance due. Due right now is $1,475.
Okay.
Got a correction on that, Jen?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we have a motion for $1,475 and we have a second. Any questions? Yes, Lucian. Oh, I'm sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, opposed? So carried. Okay, that takes care of invoices. Next, any old business? Jeff?
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay. New business. Our new business, we have a meeting in January. The first Monday of January is the 4th, and that is that holiday weekend. I don't know, do you want to keep it the 4th or want to move it to the 11th, the week after? Have a calendar in front of you? The 4th is like the holiday weekend. We got,
I would propose to move it if you want.
Mr.
New
Chairman,
Year's Day is Friday, then you got Saturday, Sunday, then Monday. I mean, I think a lot of people are probably still coming back from somewhere or still have a day off or whatever. So I would like to see us move it to the 11th, but I leave up to you folks.
Mr. Chairman, we have a Board of Selectmen meeting on the 11th. So I would just defer to Jeff to see if it could be streamed the same day as that
Yeah,
meeting.
that's a good point,
That's a good point.
Jackie. I'm not sure.
I don't
I'd have
think
to look
we-
at the full schedule to see what else is on Monday nights.
Yeah,
Monday's been packed with zoning and
Right.
design review and Board of Selectmen and other meetings.
now the other question is, you want to move it back to the 6th, Wednesday of the 6th or the 13th? Jeff, do you want to check the 6th out for us?
I can do that.
Does anyone have a problem with the 6th? All right, then why don't we propose to do, if we can, get on screen on the 6th? What's proposed for the 6th? Is everybody okay with that?
Dick, if you
Yeah.
want, we could try for the 11th and as a backup, go to the 6th.
I just assume we do the 6th. I mean, that's, you know,
Okay.
that gives you enough days after the holiday. 6th, get it done and get it over with.
Sounds good.
I mean, unless somebody else wants to make a different motion to that. Okay, so we're going to move to try to meet on the 6th. If worst comes to the worst, we'll change it to the 11th. And Jeff will keep us posted. Okay?
Okay, good.
Other new business? Hearing none, do I hear a move to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?